Here are some cool editing trends that I've seen recently. Let's try and recreate them. First, we have to think of a word. Let's do moon. And then we just have to screenshot a bunch of pages that contain the word moon. So let me find some pages and screenshot them. I think that will do. Alright, I imported the screenshots into our editing software. I'm using DaVinci Resolve. And now we're going to cut these clips. Let's do 5 seconds. I think that's a pretty good length. From the tutorials that I've seen, you have to put like a guide on the screen. In this case, I chose like a yellow mark so we know where our text would be. And then we gotta crop it. Yep, that's good. And now I'm gonna resize the text and make sure that our keyword stays within that yellow guide. This one, let me just take that out because it looks a bit out of place. Now it's too short. I don't want to go and screenshot more pages, so I'm just gonna copy and paste. I think it's a bit too plain. Okay, let me just try to bring more attention to our keyword. Okay, now there are 2 layers. There's the background, and then the second layer is just the word moon. So I will put a radical blur effect onto the background, and then it will bring more attention, bring more focus onto our keyword. And then I'm just gonna put a little keyframe to create a little zoom in so it will be more interesting. My vocabulary is so small. That looks much better. That looks a lot more like there's something going on instead of just plain rush of text. I like the result. That was pretty good. I will give this a 9 out of 10. So for this edit, you're gonna need a still shot of the background, and then you're gonna put in your object. And from the tutorial that I watched, they said to make it wobble a little and it will look a lot better, so that's what I did. Okay, now I imported the clip into the editing software, so let's cut the clip. I'm trying to find the best wobble shot because some of them are so bad, so I'm trying to look for a more decent shot. Okay, now I'm left with these 2 wobble shots, and I think I'll go with the later one. And now let's get to the fun part. I think this is called rotoscoping. I'm not sure, but anyways, we're just gonna cut this container out of the background so we can make that boom effect. How do you make this curve? It should be fine, right? I think it will be fine. But why is the frame not moving? It should at least move a little while I track it. Why is it not moving? What's wrong? Okay, now it's moving. And now I just have to adjust it. You know, for the previous video where I first learned how to do this, I thought it was really fun. But now that I'm doing this again, it's pretty tedious. Very tedious actually. Why is it so choppy? And why is the points all over the place? Okay guys, so I was really struggling back there. I don't know what went wrong, but it was just all over the place. So I decided to redo everything because I don't know what's wrong, so I don't know where to fix it. So I guess I'm just gonna redo it. And fortunately, this time the tracking of the cutout was a lot cleaner and it was actually tracking and it's working. I don't know what went wrong, but thank God it worked this time. And then we have to put some keyframes. The first keyframe, we're gonna have to zoom out a lot and then we're gonna move a few frames and then it will look like it's growing. Yeah, I think that looks okay. I'm gonna give that a 7 out of 10. I think that's pretty decent. I saw this creator posted a video, kind of like a tutorial on this effect called white beat sync. It's really cool, so let's try and make that. Okay, I just screen recorded Robin trailer, so let's edit. Oh I forgot to resize the resolution. Why am I like this? I think the trailer is this ratio. I'm not sure, but let's just try first. Alright, now we just have to do this again. I just learned something and I'm gonna share it because someone might find it useful. So if you grab this horizontal arrow, it will only move horizontally, and this can save up a lot of time if you only want to move horizontally without affecting the mask vertically. Previously, I had to fix the vertical part a lot to make it stay in the center because I dragged it by the small square instead of the arrow. The tutorial added some flash, so we're gonna do that too. It's getting way too laggy and I can't see how the flicker is looking, so I guess I just have to do this blindly and see what it looks like after I render it out. Okay, let's render this and see what it looks like. The flicker is barely visible, so we have to fix that. Okay, I think this will do. Alright, I haven't seen what it looks like, so we're gonna see it together. That's pretty good. That's a lot better than the previous one, but the flicker speed is a bit too fast, but still, it's pretty decent and I don't want to redo that, so we're just gonna take this as the final result. I'll give this a 7 out of 10. This one is very recent. Some people don't do it like a rotating way, but they still have different eye shots and it still look really cool. But I think the rotating one looks so cool, so we're gonna try and recreate that. I'm looking for someone with enigmatic eyes. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but I'll know once I see it. And then after scrolling for some time, June from 17, which is a group that I like. I'm not into K-pop, but I've seen their show Going 17 and I thought they're such a wholesome group because it's April right now and June is the 4th member of the group. So I decided to go for June, and he also has that enigmatic vibes. I'm not gonna bore you with this cropping part, but there were so many trials and error and I had to redo it multiple times. All these trials and error, all these back and forth just took a lot of time. I think it took me the whole afternoon. An easier solution to this is to crop the picture before you import it into the software. In this case, I saved the picture on my phone and crop each one, and as you can see from my media pool, everything is already cropped, and this makes the process of making this edit a lot simpler. And then you just have to stack up those photos and move it back by a few frames. In this case, I think I moved it back by 1 frame or 2 frames. And then you just have to rotate it a bit. And after you create a full circle, wait, this is not a tutorial, this is what I did. Okay, I made a full circle, so now we're gonna put some keyframes to make it like really seems like a rotating stack of eyes. Now I'm gonna put a background and we're gonna do some color adjusting and put some flicker, some effect, and we're good. I think I'm done. Okay, that's lit. That is cool. I like that. I'll give that a 9.5 out of 10. That is really good.